Hi, everybody. One of my ultimate desires is to live a full time creative life. I wanted to live in a way that prioritized creativity, exploration, and all that good stuff. And one of the things I wanted to do is start an art business, an art shop where I'm selling art, things that people can connect with. The problem, though, is that I've been stuck and paralyzed in self doubt, fear, anxiety for what feels like a very, very long time. And so I'm giving myself 6 months to launch a creative art business from scratch. So I'm letting you guys in on this journey. Hi everyone, my name is Katia and welcome back to Small Beginnings. I've been obsessed with creating and making art since I was like a very, very young child. It started very early, you guys. I would make art, I would make comic books, I would even write novels when I was really, really young. And I feel like creativity came so natural to me when I was a kid. I was just like, I want to make this, I'm going to make it, and then I did. And I feel like somewhere along the way, self doubt, anxiety, and just like fear started to become louder than my desire to create or desire to even share any of my creations. I cared more about like protecting myself rather than I did about creating art and sharing it. And it's crazy. I studied art in school. I did freelance projects for a period of time. There was even points where I held creative positions at work. But it's like no matter how far I got, I would continue this cycle of like starting and stopping. I get very excited to start a project and then I would quit or just like pause the moment things started to feel like a little bit more heavy or more uncertain. I would overthink if what I was making was good enough, if I was even capable at all, if I'd ever get out of the small beginnings stage, and like if this was even the path for me. There's a verse that's always stuck out to me just in my entire like creative, I guess, like process or just like mental space. It's Zechariah 4:10, and it's, do not despise small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. And that has always stuck with me because I know for a fact like I kind of despise small beginnings and don't appreciate them as much as I should. And so after a post grad funk, yes, they exist and they really suck really badly. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I just stop despising it and start embracing it for what it is? I feel like small beginnings or like starting small is proof that I'm alive, that I'm moving, that I'm learning, and that I'm moving forward. Like, as long as you're moving forward, I think that is something to be proud of, you know? I feel like this 6 month plan for me is kind of like a productivity challenge, yes, but it is also a mindset shift for me. Trying to live a full time creative life isn't about like the work that you're producing, it is about who you are becoming in the process. And I think there is just some becoming that needs to be done and a little bit more enjoying of the process and enjoying of the smaller beginnings. I will be starting with art prints and stickers. I feel like stickers are a very fun way to share art because you can have it on literally anything. Stickers and where we decide to place them and how we share them, I feel like they're just many representations of a part of you, whether it's something that you like, something that you are constantly trying to remind yourself of, a style, aesthetic choice. Stickers are also have to be one of the most popular or sought after art shop items, and I love getting stickers for myself. I love seeing the stickers that different artists create in their own art shops, and so I think it would just be super fun to have that be a part of my little launch. I also want to sell art prints. I think paintings are wonderful, they're one of a kind, they're original, but one thing I do love about art prints is that they're more accessible to other people. It's kind of similar with the stickers. They are like beautiful, small representations of what you think, what you believe, what feels beautiful to you. And I just love that. And I would like to create that. And also a creative planner. This one is a bit more in its very early beginning stages. This is something I don't totally know if this will be a part of the initial launch, but it is something that has been like near and dear to like my heart and something I haven't expanded on, but there's just a part of me that wants to make something like that that is not just a form of habit tracking, but also expanding on your perspective of creativity and your daily creative habits. Like I said before, in the sense of the full-time creative life, it's about productivity, but it's also a mindset shifting experience. And so whatever that ends up looking like, whether it's a part of the first launch or not, that is something that I would be interested in doing and releasing. So we will see what happens with that. So I used ChatGPT, I know, just to give me like a little 6 month roadmap. Because I don't know, sometimes 6 months ahead, that kind of feels like a little crazy. Even like a year ahead feels a little bit crazy to visualize. And so just like having that map and that outline helps me break it down in a way that it feels very doable and more tangible. And also, I do work a full time job. And so I kind of had to figure out, okay, what would be the best schedule for me? Month one of the 6 month plan is about foundation and brand clarity. So that means defining the brand, market research, choosing the core products, and setting up social accounts. I am focusing mainly on YouTube. I feel comfortable with one social site for now, and we'll see how it expands further. Right now, I'm loving the YouTube space. I think it's works well for me. Month two is about product development. This involves designing the first products and a whole bunch of refining and finalizing. Now, month three is sourcing and brand packaging stuff. That includes deciding whether I want to go printing on demand or printing DIY. That also includes sourcing and packaging supplies if it is a DIY. So that month, I take the time to figure that out. Then we have month four, store setup. So that includes setting up shop, content strategy, and soft launching. Month five, marketing and audience growth. That'll include content consistency, email lists, and refining the products. And then we have month six, which is about expansion. So if I do want to add one or two more products, this is the month I develop those. Then we have a bonus month, month seven, which is going to be growth and systems. So this is like streamlining the workflow, finding better ways to optimize my time better, evaluating the results of my first launch, and then planning the next steps from there. So yeah, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to be maybe a little bit messy, but I think that is the point. And at the end of the day, you're never going to be like fully prepared. I always hear people say you're never going to feel 100% ready. I guess that's why I've been waiting for so dang long to finally feel ready, and I just never have. And so I think putting one step forward and just walking even when it feels like I'm like literally walking in total darkness, just like that quote I mentioned in my last video, we gain clarity by doing. Like, we really do gain clarity by doing. So if you kind of want to get into something like this, I do have a freebie version of this roadmap that you can find in the description box below. It maps out your month by month priorities as well as your week by week priorities, and that you can use those as a checklist to make sure that you're on track and doing what you're supposed to be doing. And you can just fill that out according to what your specific situation is. So I just wanted to provide that for you all. Okay, hey guys, we have T minus 3 days until we officially start our 6 month plan. All week I've been like prepping for it, fleshing out the plan. So that's been nice. That's been really nice. But yeah, now I'm on my way to work. One of the things that I had to keep telling myself this morning is that your life is not going to be a linear path. You are going to have ups and downs. That is a requirement. That is inevitable. But you're just gonna have to move through it, accept it, and then just let it go. And also for me, just as someone who is a Christian and is just trying to move with God and not ahead of him or like outside of him, if I were to put it in like a visual, I feel like there'd be times where I'm like walking hand in hand with him for certain things, and then like fear is like chasing and gaining up on me. And when the fear is gaining up on me, I like let go of his hand and just like run. And that is just how I operate a lot of the time. And I'm just trying not to do that. I would just not like to be driven by fear in any aspect of my life. Not in my business, not in my personal life, not in any relationships, not in anything. That's how I'm feeling. I'm trying to adjust my mindset when it comes to these things so that I can become the person who is willing to do the thing to get to where I need to be. I'm like desperate need of some mindset changes. So yeah, all right, I think that's enough for this morning. I feel excitement in my chest, which is good. T. Okay, I'm almost at work, so I'll see y'all. I wanted to approach this in a way where it's just not me giving like some sort of tell all to what you should be doing as if I know what you should be doing. But I just wanted to show you guys the small steps that I am taking towards a full time creative life and the systems I'm creating to stay a bit more organized, how I'm handling my fears, my worries, my anxieties and self-doubt that will inevitably show up throughout the process. The thing is it's not that you don't get scared or have like a situation where you're just like, I can't do this. It's literally about moving forward despite your fears telling you that danger, danger. For me, I've just been wanting to really, really learn to love the journey. Majority of the journey is the process. So if y'all have ever wanted to build something and you felt like fear and self doubt was holding you back from doing it, and you feel like you don't know where to start, and you need a plan or just some encouragement or someone going through it with you, then this series would be for you. I'm not just trying to launch a business, I want to become the kind of person who believes that they can. And when it reaches 6 months, I do want to look back and see that I was, in fact, capable all this time. So if you are interested in seeing me go from my small beginnings to a full-time creative life, make sure to hit subscribe. If you guys want to share where you're currently at, if you relate at all, let me know. We could just chat about it in the comments. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.